Good morning and welcome to this morning flexibility routine. Thank you for joining me. This is a morning routine, so it's going to start off nice and gently, but feel free to do this at any time during the day as well. So straight into it then. So be very gentle with the body as we've just woken up. So a nice easy quadruped position or on all fours, toes tucked. One of the most important things we can do this morning is start getting some breath into the body. So every movement we do is going to have some element of breathing involved in it as well. We're going to start simply by dropping our belly down to the floor, and we're going to inhale, creating a bit of an arch in the lower back, just nice and gently. And then we're going to exhale as we tuck the towel and lift the belly ever so gently. So just that's the first move. We're going to build on that, inhaling as we drop the belly, bringing a bit more of the upper back into it, maybe looking forward ever so slightly, and then exhaling as we tuck the tail, kind of wave up into this cat-cow. Maybe you want to start looking towards your knees, inhaling, getting a bit deeper now, opening the chest up to the front, lifting the chin, and exhaling as we tuck the tail, belly button to spine now, rippling all the way up through the upper back, shoulders drawing forward, and chin tucked all the way under. Do one more full one like that. Maybe you can do it in stages, so focus on the tail first, mid spine, up through the upper back, and then looking forward. And we can reverse that from the tail end, drawing the tail, belly button, rippling up through the spine, finishing with the tuck. Okay, remembering to breathe with all these and to do it at your own pace. The next move is going to be a hip swivel. You can do this from the front. So feet sort of wider than knees, knees wider than hips, supported with the rear, and this is just going to be very easy. There's going to be a bit of stiffness from the morning, so we're just dropping the knees comfortably to one side and then comfortably to the other. Not pushing, just allowing whatever movement is there to come out, and trusting that as we move our body in a gentle way, then it will open and offer us a little bit more space if it's available. So again, focus on those nice deep inhales, filling the belly up if we can, and we're trying to keep the chest forward with this as well. And you'll notice as you go through this that you're already starting to get a little bit more movement. So there's plenty of those for the first round. We're going to come up into a kneeling position. So hopefully you've got something comfortable under the weighted knee, aiming for a kind of 90 degrees at each joint, and we're simply just going to hold this position, lifting up through the top of the head to extend through the spine, keeping a light contraction on the glute, and feeling a stretch on the front of the thigh here. So the spine's nice and straight, all the way down through the leg, tailbone tucked slightly for most people, lower belly just pulling in ever so slightly. And coming up nice and tall with the breath. You're going to feel a little bit of a stretch down there, maybe a bit more than a little, but just keep it nice and easy for this first round. Focusing on getting that air all the way into the belly and even breathing into the back if that's accessible. One more breath in this position. And then just gently changing over. So dropping one knee, lifting the opposite leg. Noticing if there's any immediate difference. So again, focuses on the back leg and specifically on the front of the back leg. Just stretching through that hip flexor. You don't really want to be feeling anything in the lower back here. We're going to keep control of the glutes. Keep breathing deep into the belly. We're not worried about pushing too far forward, certainly not at this stage. A couple more nice deep breaths then, breathing into the belly, breathing into the back. Nice long exhales as well. Maybe one more breath. And exhale. Okay, changing legs. Just going to do a very, very gentle drop down here. So this is going to target the glute and hamstring on this side. So we're just engaging by pushing back through the hip very gently, and then keeping the spine as straight as possible, leaning forward to engage this hamstring. If you can reach the ground, excellent. Maybe you just want to rest on here. So just going to come up, inhale nice and tall, exhale, glutes go back a little bit, keeping the spine stable, and then just coming down to rest as close as we can to that thigh, aiming for a stretch in the back of the front leg. Exhale, push those hips back slightly and engage it through the hamstring. Okay, switching over, opposite side. Again, just squaring off, focusing on breathing into the belly. And we're just simply pushing the hips back, trying to keep stable there. And bringing the chest down to the thigh to initiate stretching the hamstring. This is quite an easy one. If you do find it way too easy, we're doing a slightly more advanced one on the next round. So breathe in and come up. You will find an opportunity to take it a bit further. So push the hips back slightly, keeping everything else nice and still as we move down. Just feeling that engagement here. It might be that we can only get down to this range, that's fine. Just work to your own level. And back up to the top. Good. Right, what's next? Easy bend. So we're going to come up onto our knees, hands on the back and just opening. Keep glutes active and just open the chest by drawing the elbows back. Okay, and return to the start. So we're going to inhale, open up. And exhale, fold forward slightly. Glutes are engaged with this one, so I've got a little bit of intensity in here to make sure we're not overloading the lower back first thing. Keep the glutes active, hands on the back. Pull them back as much as you can. Open that chest, and now we're going to even bring the chin in. So keep the mouth closed. Just open that neck and throat up. And exhale, just bring it forward again. One more big one. Lovely. Staying in this position now, we're going to do a opening up the shoulders and neck. So we're just opening the palms up to the front. This might be a bit tight first thing. Just go at your own level. So fingers now pushing toward the ground. We're just going to tilt the head one way till you feel a light stretch on the neck, and then tilt it the other way. Tilt it one way and tilt it the other way. So remembering to keep the shoulders away from the ears. If you want to intensify this a little bit more, you can just peel the fingers back towards the wall behind you. So This should be done very gently. We're not pushing end range, we're just mobilising the tissues and the nerves. It'll help free up some movement for the rest of the day. Okay, good. So back to the start. This time we're going to add some rotations. Well, we're going to make everything a little bit more spicy. Hopefully we've woken the body up a little bit now. If any of these ones are too challenging, then just revert back to the first set. And that is the cat-cow. This time we're going to find mid-spine, so we're not dipping all the way and we're not rounding all the way. Find a point where it feels most natural for you, and that'll be where you can get a nice decent core squeeze on. Okay, so we want to brace the abs. Find that point where that's the strongest. For me, it's a slight tail tuck. Okay, so we're going to hold that position. I'm going to place the right hand right ear, left elbow, right elbow to left elbow. I'm just going to lift up through the shoulder blade, up through the elbow, and just raise it as much as you can without any other movement. So it's literally just that upper back and elbow lifting. Okay, and back down. So you do that with a breath. Inhale up, and exhale down. One thing we want to make sure is that the hips aren't shifting sideways. I have a tendency to push away from the side that you're lifting, so make sure you're aware of that. It's a compensation. Breathing and rotating. So, one more, and we're going to push this one all the way up, driving through the bottom hand. Keep those hips square and open as much as you can this morning. And back to the start. Lovely. So opposite side, I'll turn around. So now, finding that mid-spine, a little bit of contraction through the belly, left hand to left ear, and then left elbow to right elbow. Again, just open to wherever you can. We're bringing the shoulder blade towards the middle of the back, and we're bringing the elbow up to the side. Okay, nice and gentle with yourself. Breathe deeply, breathe in a way that serves your body. Opening just a little bit more with each one. Big breath out as you twist it open. Keeping those hips square, open mind square. Back down. Last one. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears as well if we can. Exhaling, breathing all the time. Lovely. Okay, the hip swivel we're going to take into 90-90. So starting with those sort of wide feet, wide knees, dropping down to one side. Make sure we've got roughly 90 degrees there. Excuse me. And we're just going to set up nice and tall. First of all, we should be feeling something of a stretch under the right hip in this case on my side. And we're just going to start now by coming up nice and tall through the spine and just edging forward ever so slightly till we feel a decent stretch in that hip. Now, decent isn't eye-watering. Decent is just a comfortable stretch. 6 out of 10 maybe. So, from this position, we're going to push the knee into the floor using only the power of the leg. Hold that for about 5 seconds, and as we lift the knee up towards us, we're leaning forward so no movement's occurring. Push down with the leg. Again, because the floor's in the way, there's no movement. Push down, down, down. And then as you lift the knee up towards you, you're reaching forward. So we're gaining the movement from the upper body moving towards the leg as opposed to the other way around. One more round, push the knee down into the floor. And then lift the knee up and roll forward. If you want to go down a little bit deeper, feel free. Just soak that in. And then just rolling over to the other side. It's a nice easy switch. You know what to do. We're doing 3 rounds of the knee into the floor. So, up nice and tall. Lean forward till we keep a stretch or get a stretch in that bottom hip. This leg. See if we can relax into it as well. I know there's an intention to be tall and forward, but can we send messages to that area to say it's okay to let go a little bit, just by staying relaxed and breathing nice and deeply. So as we start breathing deeply, we're going to push in the knee into the floor. So big breath in, pushing down. And as we exhale, we're bringing the knee up to the chest, but we're moving forward instead. I hope that makes sense. It does to me. Again, pushing the knee into the floor, using only the power from the leg. And then aiming to lift the knee toward the chest, but actually moving the chest towards the knee. One more. Down, pushing, pushing, pushing. And then relaxing forward. If you want to take it to the floor. If you've got it, if not, just chill out up here. That's fine as well. Lovely jubbly. Okay, kneeling. So we're going to take this one a little bit further as well, back into the kneeling position. Everything's had a chance to wake up a little bit. So, done this already. Find that center position. I'm going to breathe in, and reach up. Breathe out and reach over. So we're reaching away from the kneeling leg. Support on here if you need to. So breathe in, up. Nice and tall. Breathe out. Away. One more. In and up. Out, away. So that should just be intensifying all that down this side of the body, maybe even a bit on the lat. Coming back down, changing angle or changing sides. Find that little tuck of the tailbone. Nice little mini brace on the core. Breathing in all the way up. And breathing out as you reach over. Breathing in, up. And breathing out, reaching over. Good bead of sweat on as well. Breathing in and up, last one. And out and over. Beautiful. Okay, very good. So next one, back to the original kneeling position. What we're going to do this time, we're going to walk the foot forward 1 foot width, and we're going to reach, keeping nice and straight through the spine and hips still, so we're not driving, we're just taking a nice deep stretch. We're going to get a bit of hamstring in here, a little bit of hip flexor. We can even come into the gap. Otherwise, just stay up on here, that's fine as well. Okay, keeping your chest as close to your thigh as possible, just roll back and get a stretch on here. Again, this is the back of the front leg on the hamstring. Here's a nice opportunity to get a bit more nerve flossing in, so we can just tuck the chin and lift the chin and just feel that intensify any sensations down. From anywhere from the spine really down to the heel. Nice and gently with those at your own level, no pain. And then gently forward again. Okay? So change legs. So up, nice and tall again. Move the foot 1 length forward and reach forward. So we're bending this knee, keeping nice and straight in this plane. Okay? Getting a stretch on this leg and this leg. If you want to come down, that's fine. Bring chest as close as you can now to the thigh. And just take it back. It shouldn't be eye-watering. This should just be nice and easy. It may literally be there. You know, it's first thing in the morning. Everything's a little bit sleepy, a little bit tight. Just work with your own body. If you work with it, it will give you room. If you fight against it, it will tighten up and you'll end up hurting yourself. So just find what feels good. And then, if you want an optional extra, just add a little bit of a head wiggle and even move the foot up and down as well. Do what works for you. There we go. So back into kneeling position. This time, instead of hands behind the back, we're going to go hands up overhead. So reach up as high as you can and reach to one side. Reach up as high as you can and reach to one side. Now there is some intention on keeping a bit of a brace in here as we do this, growing out of the ground and reaching over to one side. Growing out of the ground, reaching over to the other side. One more side each. That way and then up again this way. Okay, last thing we're going to do, we're just going to sit back onto the heels as best we can. Just going to roll forward. Just going to get ourselves in a little ball and just relax into the floor. Manage to place your hands behind you. Manage to rest your head on your hands. You can even put them in front of you. Whatever's right for you now. I'm feeling this today. I'm going to take some deep cleansing breaths all the way in to the belly. But a little bit of imagination now. We're just going to fill the whole body with breaths. Imagine deep breathing nice and deeply, so we're breathing into the feet, into the legs, the bum, the belly, the back, shoulders and arms, and the head. Nice deep breaths in, cleansing all the way in. And notice what it feels like just to let the air go and sink a bit deeper to the floor. That was the last bit. This is actually going to be the last. We're just going to open that chest.